Look, here's the reality. This is like the old story where someone comes in at night, robs your whole house, shows back up in the morning when the police are there, and they said, oh, that's the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my life. How could that have happened? And by the way, I have something here to sell you if you like it. I have a TV here. This is exactly what's happening here. They're trying to convince you of something that they caused to go up. They brought it down a little bit. Now they're trying to sell it to you as something new. It's sad to see. And again, I go back to my statement from earlier. Perception is reality. That's why those poll numbers are. This is a perfect story. Look,
This administration is in some excuse me. This administration is in some serious trouble. Serious trouble. You know, I mean, there's potholes all over the place. I mean, literally and figuratively, right? Everything is going to crap, from the economy to a wide open southern border, which there's been some crazy images coming from that even recently. I mean, there's still like people hopping on top of trains to come close to the border and hop off and then walk across. I mean, this stuff is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't see a way out for them. But like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. Thanks for joining us. With just 50 days, can you believe it, until the Iowa caucuses? Well, the polls are tightening nationally. Governor Ron DeSantis is making a stop right here on the Angle. But first, money for nothing. That's the focus of tonight's Angle. All right, unless you're the son of a president and are able to charge, what, $300,000 or so for art that looks like it should be hanging in a middle school hallway, you know the Biden economy. It's in the pits.
How is the economy in your estimate?
It's horrible.
The economy is very bad right now. The cost of everything is very expensive. We don't spend the money like we used to.
I just spend more. Obviously, I'm spending a whole lot more. I'll spend what I usually spend, but it probably won't buy nearly as much.
Well, the facts are undeniable. Even the Biden-friendly media can't avoid reporting the truth any longer. From Bloomberg today, groceries are up 25%, used cars climbed 35%, rent, it's only up 20%. Now, while Americans' daily routines have largely returned to their pre-pandemic normal, the cost of living has not. From The Atlantic, houses are unaffordable for middle-class families across the country. Rural areas are expensive. Suburbs are expensive. Cities are absurdly expensive. Nowhere is cheap. That's in part.
Everything is expensive. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane what is happening right now.
Part thanks to mortgage rates. The monthly payment on a new home has increased by more than 50% in the past 3 years.
Jeez.
From the Wall Street Journal, its new survey shows that the belief in the American dream is dying. Just 36% of Americans, this was so heartbreaking to see over the weekend, said it's still possible if you work hard, the American dream. 45% said it was true, but not anymore. And 18% said it was never true. By the way, that's double what it was previously.
I fall into that 45% where it was true, but it's definitely not anymore. Not for the average individual, right? That is gone at this point in time. Gone. I mean, of course, you have your outliers. Yeah, of course, you know, your people who make buku bucks, yeah, whatever, or have like a really nice job, you know, get a really good raise. You know what I mean? There's a few exceptions, but the rule at this point in time is that the American dream is dead. It is gone. Things are just way too expensive. I mean, it not happening. You just heard her say that I think she said the monthly payment on a home has gone up by 50%. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
That's a big drop, though, from the other surveys in 2012 and 2016, where 53% and 46%, respectively, still believed overall in the American dream. All of this is bad news for Democrats, because women were more pessimistic than men, while younger people were much more pessimistic than people over the age of 65. Now, remember, women and young voters are key Biden constituencies. That's not good for him. So hardworking Americans have good reason to be frustrated, very frustrated.
We're seeing it in the gas prices, we're seeing it in the economy and how we're spending our money.
I think inflation is impacting people very negatively. Our dollar's going a lot less this year than it did last year.
It costs money just to wake up every day.
That ain't that the truth. Sometimes you just want to lay back down in bed like, nah, not today. But no, that's so true what that young lady said, man. Gas prices are absolutely ridiculous, and this administration's solution to that is, hey, buy an electric car. I mean, you already couldn't afford to pay for gas for your car that you have now, but go and buy an electric car. It's a great idea. Like, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. People can't even afford to fill up their own vehicle already. Now you expect them to go buy a $50,000, $60,000 vehicle because it's electric and safer for the environment, even though we have seen time and time again these charging stations being run by generators that run off of gas and diesel. Like you can't make this stuff up. And I'm showing you guys those videos. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. And nor do I want to sit at a charging station for 45 minutes just so I can get to where I need to get to. Like, that's just stupid to me. That's just stupid. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to sit at a charging station for any longer than 5 minutes. If I can't fully charge my vehicle in 5 minutes or less, and even that's stretching it. Like, I mean, how long do we spend at a gas pump? 3 minutes tops, 3. Right? Depending on the size of your vehicle, maybe 4, okay? But it's not 20 minutes. It's darn sure not 45 minutes. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. That's just ridiculous. Like, you causing too much disruption in my day. No. I want to stick and move. Boom. Like, nah. That's just me, though.
No wonder Donald Trump's numbers keep getting stronger and Biden's are getting weaker. Which makes it all the more baffling that the Democrats refuse to change their policies. They refuse to shut the border. They refuse to cut spending. They refuse to unleash the energy sector. Instead, the only thing they're doing is strategizing. The Washington Post reporting on meetings convened by Biden's chief of staff with the economic and comms teams in an effort to turn around the narrative and then debunk what they believe are misleading social media reports, like the one about the $16 Big Mac on TikTok, which circulated last year and is still ricocheting around the internet. The Big Mac conundrum reflects what Biden aides and senior Democratic officials regard as one of their most vexing challenges ahead of the 2024 presidential election. Even as inflation has fallen to a manageable 3% and although the labor market has remained hot and with strong growth, voters still don't like the economy, and they blame the president. But the president says, come on, kids, you got it all wrong.
From turkey to air travel to tank of gas, costs went down. They went down. Now, to people making a lot of money, that doesn't matter a whole lot because the costs are relatively small compared to wealthy incomes. In fact, as a share of earnings this Thanksgiving, dinner was the 4th cheapest ever on record.
Okay. So unconvincing. The 4th cheapest. I don't know.
What? He said the 4th cheapest on record. And costs are down. Yeah, down from all-time highs. It's still not back to where it was. This is the game that they play. Like, they make it, or no, they literally think that we are, like, our heads are full of just hot air. Like, we're stupid or something. Oh, yeah, costs are down, guys. Costs are down. Yeah, from all-time highs. So even if costs are down from all-time highs, you're still high. Goodness gracious. Like, how? Like, I legit, I'm just baffled. Like, they legitimately think that they can lie to people when we actually go to the grocery store. We actually go to the pump. It's not like this thing that is just far off. Like, no, we see the prices. We look at the grocery cart. We see, oh man, when Trump was in office, I could spend $100 and I'd have a full cart. Now I barely got 2 bags of food for $100. Ah, man, this stuff's crazy.
How they determine that. But it's especially unconvincing when he falls back on blaming companies that do what all businesses do to stay alive when costs go up. They have to pass their increased costs, especially now energy costs, onto consumers.
Let me be clear. To any corporation that's not brought their prices back down, even as inflation has come down, even as supply chains have been rebuilt, it's time to stop the price gouging and give the American consumer a break.
Are his eyes even open in that? But by the way, it's spoken as a man who's never run a business in his life or had to actually make a payroll. And when all else fails, you can always just blame Trump.
MAGA Republicans in Congress are pushing back on our efforts to end these junk fees. Fortunately, we've been able to push back on MAGA Republicans so far, but they haven't given up. They haven't given up. They still want to undo this progress we're making.
Junk fees, really? I think he meant undoing not the progress, the regress. He does not give a darn about what he's done to this country. And we know the Bidens, they won't need to pinch pennies this Christmas. Hunter and Jim, after all, they're making all their foreign cash. They'll make sure of that. But how has the Biden economy affected the holidays of regular Americans?
I'm only buying what people need, not what they want.
Really? Why? Because of the economy?
Yes, because of the economy. Everything is high, very expensive.
Well, Biden
Don't
says
vote
everything's
Democrat.
cheap this year. See, he doesn't comport. And by the way, to think that the White House thinks women like that should be happy with the state of things. She just must not understand. Things are great. How insulting. What happened to the Democrats' compassion surplus that they always claimed they had? That, like everything Biden campaigned on, was a lie. And next November, the voters will finally have the chance to make these arrogant, incompetent, and corrupt people pay.
Yeah. How ridiculous, man. How utterly ridiculous. And it's just continuous. Like, it would be one thing if, this administration and Biden came out and, tried to lie once and got exposed on it, and then they kind of scrapped that idea. But no, they, continually have done this. Continually. About everything. Just lie after lie after lie. Or just point at Donald Trump. That is so... it is so utterly annoying and ridiculous. Oh, well, but Trump and the MAGA Republicans... It's so ridiculous, man. So ridiculous. And I'm happy to see that the American people aren't really buying it anymore. It's a beautiful thing to see. It truly is. It's an amazing thing to see. Just on a global stage, right? We've talked about this. The Netherlands, Argentina with Javier Milei as well. Making a shift to the right on a global stage. Even, we talked about it yesterday, even in Canada. The Conservative Party is winning currently. And Trudeau's party is absolutely losing, which, if you want to compare the two, the Conservative Party obviously would be Trump. His name is Pierre something with a P. And then Trudeau is Joe Biden, right? And Trudeau is losing terribly in the recent polls in Canada. And the Conservative Party is up big. So just like here in America, and in a lot of other places, as we've seen recently, the right side is winning. And it's so great to see, because this stuff has just gotten utterly ridiculous. Just open borders everywhere. Everywhere. Nobody agrees with it except for these lunatic leftists. Nobody agrees with this stuff except for these lunatic leftist politicians and elected officials, in here and other places abroad, just allowing all of these folks, which is why it's super obvious that there's somebody at the top that is, heading the whole thing. And I have my idea of who that is, right? I think the person here is possibly Hillary, for America, for the leftists, right? But then globally, there's somebody up top that's giving the message to all of these leftists across the planet. And you see all of them making the same sort of moves. Oh, open borders, fling it open. Yeah. Yeah. And you see how well that's turned out in some places. Goodness gracious. But hey, the right is winning. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.